Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Should we move to, well, sequestration? The defense with prosecution witness is still in the waiting room. Are there any opening statements that the parties would like to make?
I waive opening statement, Your Honor.
Same, Your Honor. Waive opening.
All right, we'll move to taking testimony in this case. And Mr. Rosenthal, you prepared to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. The people call Corporal Mario Esselman.
Mr. Esselman.
Good morning, Corporal Esselman. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, sir. Can you see us in the court? Can you see everybody on the screens?
Yeah, I can see you. Just agree. Okay, there it is.
Ms. Harris, state your name.
Sheriff Harris.
And are you able to hear the prosecution witness, Esselman?
I am, Your Honor.
Ms. Strickland, state your name.
Mariah Strickland.
And were you able to hear the people's witness, Officer Esselman?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Officer Esselman, are you able to hear Ms. Harris and Ms. Strickland?
Yes.
All right. Officer, would you raise your right hand, please? Promise to tell the truth under penalty of perjury in this case?
Sir.
All right, thank you. You may lower your hand, and Mr. Rosenthal, you may proceed with your direct examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Before he proceeds,
Hold on. Ms. Harris, what are you trying to say, Ms. Harris?
before he proceeds, I would just ask that if there are any documents, any papers, or anything with either individual who may testify, that those items be put away. And we're just taking them at their word because this is Zoom.
All right. So, Officer Strickland, I think what Ms. Harris is saying that if you are going to rely on any documentation as far as refreshing your recollection or anything like that is concerned, that would the people would have to state that you're referring to something to refresh your recollection, and Ms. Harris would have to have access to whatever that document or item is. So there can be no referring to those, because usually in a courtroom you can see, when somebody's sitting in the witness chair, whether they have their police report or something from the medical examiner, and we can't really see that on Zoom. So no reliance on anything. Of course, the people's representative can queue up certain documents to be used, but Ms. Harris will have to have access. All right, proceed, Mr. Rosenthal.
Thank you, Your Honor. Corporal Esselman, can you please state your name and badge number for the record?
Detroit police officer, well, Detroit Corporal Officer Mario Esselman, badge 1031.
And where are you currently employed, Corporal Esselman?
Detroit Police Department.
How long have you been a police officer with the city of Detroit?
5 years, sir.
And can you please describe any training you have received?
We train every month, traffic stops, training of how to approach cars and what to look for while we're patrolling.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And can you please describe any training specifically related to the traffic stop that occurred?
Honestly,
2020.
Just training I had from the academy, just on how to direct traffic.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And on July 28, 2020, where were you?
Working in the 8th precinct.
And were you called to any specific intersections for accidents or anything relating to injury?
We were called for additional help to block off traffic while the primary unit handled all the traffic accident.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And what was the intersection that this accident was on?
On 7 Mile and Evergreen.
And was this in the city of Detroit?
Correct. Yes,
And
it was.
what brought you to this area at this time? The accident specifically? Anything else, officer?
The primary unit asked for assistance on directing traffic.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And during this accident, what was your specific duties? What were you doing during this accident?
Just trying to make sure that no cars were going west on 7 Mile, past Evergreen.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And can you please describe, were you in the police car? Were you outside? What were you doing at the time of this accident? Were you sitting in your car?
No, we were outside the car. So I parked the car to where it could block 2 lanes because it's 4 lanes from on that intersection. So I blocked the car and I was standing out and I was giving cars either directions, if I'm not mistaken, to go on Westmoreland, if I'm correct, to either go south or north.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And so you were giving specific directions. You were giving specific, pretty much specific gestures to make sure cars were carefully proceeding in a way that was away from the direction.
Correct.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And on this day, did you witness any cars that weren't following your directions?
Yeah, I remember one that went around the scout car, but I'm not specifically sure if she went on the left or right side. But
and where was this vehicle approaching from, Corporal Esselman?
She was going westbound, if I'm not mistaken, on 7 Mile.
And what was your direction to this vehicle? What directions were you given to this vehicle when it was crossing through the intersection?
She either go north or south on Westmoreland.
And then what did you observe after giving those directions?
A vehicle went around my scout car.
And once the vehicle went around the scout car, what did you do next, officer?
Me and my partner got in the scout car and we initiated a traffic stop on the vehicle.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And when you stopped the vehicle, what was relayed during the vehicle stop?
That the driver didn't understand the directions that I was giving her, and that she didn't know that she couldn't proceed through the stop.
And so it seemed to you, well, during that time, during the stop, they did understand that you were signaling to them, correct?
Yes.
Object, Your Honor.
On what grounds, Ms. Harris?
That calls for speculation into the mindset of.
Sustain. You have to either rephrase that question or straight from the record, Mr. Brooks.
I'll strike it from the record, Your Honor. And then after the stop, what did you do next, Corporal Esselman?
No, it's no problem. Just advised her that when she sees scout cars and when she sees officers, to be careful and to make sure that she follows the right directions on which way to go.
Thank you, Corporal Esselman. And on this day, you issued a ticket?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Your Honor. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I do. I'm sorry. 1 second. And Corporal Esselman, can you please, is the person that you stopped in the courtroom today?
Yes.
And can you please describe this person, maybe a piece of clothing they're wearing or the name that's in their Zoom?
Mariah Strickland.
Let the record reflect the police officer, Corporal Mario Esselman, has identified the defendant.
Yeah, let the record reflect that it was an identity in a virtual courtroom, not the actual physical courtroom here at 3664. Continue, Mr. Rosenthal.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions at this point, Your Honor.
Well, for purposes
Bless.
of the fact of the identification that was placed on the record, there's really no one else for him to identify. So although I have no choice but to agree to it, there's no one else for him to identify as the person because she's identified by name. So not really sure how that works in a virtual setting.
All right, you made a record. You finished, Mr. Rosenthal?
Yes, Your Honor, I have no further
The
questions.
witness is now open to cross-examination. Ms. Harris, proceed.
Esselman, you stated that you had a partner. Who was your partner that day?
I don't recall.
How many scout cars were on the scene?
So, it's mine. You had the primary. If I'm not mistaken, it was 4. If I'm not mistaken, it was about 4.
How many officers is that?
So special ops, they was handling. They have 3 people in their car, and if it was 2.
If you don't know, it's okay to say you don't know.
Well, I'm okay. I don't know exactly.
And you indicated that you were at 7 Mile and Evergreen?
7 Mile and Westmoreland, like around in that area. Because I was directing cars to go down either or the street to side streets.
So were you blocking the traffic or were cars able to proceed through the area?
We were blocking it. My scout car was blocking 2 lanes diagonally. And then me and my partner was standing outside directing traffic.
But you don't know who your partner was?
I don't remember. It was a while ago.
Does your partner change often?
Yeah, every day.
Can you describe how you were directing traffic?
So when cars would approach, I would either move my hand to the left to tell them to go to the left side, or I would move my hand to go to the right. And the like I said, the scout car was blocking the road. So my scout car was blocking 1 lane, and then I'm sitting in the other lane telling which cars to go where.
So your scout car was not blocking 2 lanes, it was only blocking 1 and you were standing in 1 lane.
No, so it's in between. So I mean it's a truck. So I try to position the car where it's in 2 lanes. I can't have it to where it's blocking the entire street, but you know, I did the best I could to make it so cars couldn't get through.
Did any cars go through?
Yes, ma'am.
Approximately how many cars went through?
Maybe 1 or 2.
Were your hands always visible?
Yes.
Was there a light in the area?
What you mean by that?
Was there a traffic light in the area?
No.
What time of day was it?
Around 3-ish, 4, around that area, I think. In the afternoon.
Were any other officers directing traffic?
Yes.
How many?
I don't recall.
Were any close to you?
It was me and my partner.
Hold on. Objections based on
Relevance?
Well, it's relevant because if there are multiple officers directing traffic, we would need to know that.
I'll allow it, Ms. Harris. Overruled.
Corporal Esselman,
Yes, ma'am.
Proceed, Ms. Harris.
approximately how many officers were directing traffic?
I don't recall.
Were any in front of you?
No.
Were any behind you?
Yes.
Were any on the side of you?
I don't recall.
But there were officers directing traffic behind you.
Yes.
No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, I have some questions. Mr. or Corporal Kesselman, you
Yes, sir.
are blocking the westbound lanes of traffic, or attempting to straddle across 2 lanes of westbound traffic on 7 Mile, correct?
Yes.
You are directing traffic or trying to divert traffic from those westbound lanes to, you said, Westmoreland several times. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you are you signaling people to either make a right turn onto Westmoreland or to either make a left turn onto Westmoreland?
Correct.
And Westmoreland is a north-south street and
Yes.
7 miles east-west, correct?
Correct.
Now, is it correct that Westmoreland is that east of the 7 Mile and Evergreen intersection?
It's east of Evergreen.
And the accident is you refer to the primary. The primary was where exactly? Was responding to what exactly, where it was?
They were on 7 Mile near Evergreen, but more west of Evergreen.
Okay, so they were slightly past Evergreen on 7 Mile.
Correct.
Any questions based on that, Mr. Rosenthal?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
And Ms. Harris, any questions based on that?
Yes. I'm sorry, I just want to clarify. You said you were directing traffic onto Westmoreland Street,
Yes.
and that street runs north and south.
Correct.
That street is west of Evergreen off of
No.
7 Mile?
East. It's east of Evergreen. 2 blocks.
Okay, nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Rosenthal, any redirect based on Ms. Harris's question?
No redirect at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Yeah, does the prosecution have any further witnesses?
No, Your Honor, the only witness we called was Corporal Esselman.
All right. Ms. Harris, does the defense have any witnesses at this point?
If I may have 2 minutes to confer with my client in a breakout room to understand whether she wishes to testify.
Not a problem. All right, Mr. Corporal Esselman, you'll be returned to the waiting room for now. And Ms. Strickland and Ms. Harris, you should see those icons saying join breakout room pop up on your screen at this point. Go ahead and tap those.